The Trump administration wants to put a cap on student loan borrowing in an effort to update the Higher Education Act and discourage colleges from driving up the price of loans. Currently, undergrads can borrow $57,500 from the government over their lifetime, but parents of undergrads and graduate students don't have a limit on how much they can borrow. The administration also proposed simplifying student loan repayment and expanding the Pell Grant program to low-income students who are enrolled in a short-term career training programs. This is the first time the White House has outlined its priorities for an update of the higher education law, which was last reauthorized in 2008. Some high-profile Democrats want a new FBI investigation into ties between President Trump and the former owner of the day spa, where Patriots owner Robert Kraft allegedly solicited prostitution. Cindy Yang sold that particular spa in 2013, but her family reportedly still owns several other spas in the area. What does that have to do with Trump? According to reports and photos posted on social media, Yang is a frequent guest of the president. She watched the Super Bowl with him this February, has visited Mar-a-Lago several times, and has been photographed alongside major Trump associates, including two of his sons and Kellyanne Conway. Democrats want to know if Yang illegally sought to leverage her connection with the president by selling access to Chinese clients. According to their request, Yang once used her website to offer the opportunity to interact with the president. Bad news for MySpace enthusiasts. The former social media giant turned music-sharing platform says it has lost 12 years worth of music, photos, and video files. The company says a server migration problem led to the mass wipeout, which may have deleted any content uploaded between 2003 and 2015. While this may be an act of divine mercy for those who used MySpace to unwisely chronicle their awkward teen years, the platform enjoyed several years as a music-sharing site before being all but swallowed up by Facebook. Some big musical acts like Calvin Harris and Arctic Monkeys were discovered during MySpace's musical heyday. The mass deletion, one expert said, could amount to 50 million songs by more than 14 million artists. Robert Mueller's office is very busy. Does that mean the special counsel investigation will end soon? No one has any idea, but a Mueller team member yesterday asked a federal judge for a deadline extension in response to a request to unseal court documents in Paul Manafort's now-wrapped criminal case. Also, new disclosures in the probe may explain President Trump's recent erratic behavior. Search warrants related to Trump's ex-lawyer, Michael Cohen, reveal that the inquiry into whether the Trump Organization is implicated in the campaign finance case involving hush money payments to women before the 2016 election is likely still open. The documents also contain more evidence that Trump associates, in this case Cohen, appear to have at least indirect connections to powerful Russians. Could the Electoral College actually be killed off? Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren says she supports getting rid of it, and she isn't the first Democrat to propose such an overhaul. Hillary Clinton said in a 2017 interview that she felt it was time to abolish the Electoral College, and U.S. Rep. Steve Cohen this year proposed a bill doing away with it. Warren's comments have reinvigorated the debate about moving to a popular vote for president, but many experts agree any changes to the electoral system would be complex, likely requiring a constitutional amendment. Monsanto, the controversial agricultural biotech giant, was just dealt a fierce blow in court. A federal jury this week found that the company's product, Roundup, the most widely used chemical weed killer in the world, was a substantial factor in causing cancer in a 70-year-old man. This is the second case linking Roundup and cancer that's been brought to court, but there are literally thousands more cases awaiting trial. Glyphosate, the active ingredient in the product, was classified in 2015 as probably carcinogenic to humans. Bayer, which bought Monsanto in 2018, says it believes Monsanto's conduct has been appropriate and it ultimately won't be held liable. It was another dramatic day for British politics, and the big EU decision on whether to delay Brexit hasn't even happened. UK Prime Minister Theresa May gave a televised address pinning the Brexit delay blame on members of Parliament and doubling down on her controversial, oft-maligned exit deal. She also ruled out a second referendum and said she wouldn't delay Brexit beyond June 30th, the deadline she's pitching today in Brussels. Needless to say, British lawmakers were outraged and took to social media to grouse. Pitting Parliament against the people in the current environment is dangerous and reckless, one opposition lawmaker wrote. Meanwhile, new numbers continue to show a grim economic future in post-Brexit UK. Banks are expected to move about $1.3 trillion out of the country, and an estimated 7,000 finance jobs will follow. A criminal investigation of Boeing is moving forward after two deadly crashes involving the company's 737 MAX planes. U.S. Justice Department prosecutors have issued subpoenas seeking information on the company's Federal Aviation Administration certification procedures, as well as its marketing of the 737 MAX. The investigation actually started in October 2018 after a 737 MAX operated by Lion Air crashed in Indonesia. The jets remain grounded around the world, and the FAA says Boeing has developed a software patch and pilot training program to address issues with their flight control computer operations. The U.S. Air Force also has ordered a review of training procedures for military pilots of large cargo and transport planes, including Air Force One. Air Force officials said it's a precaution to make sure pilots know how and when to turn off automated pilot systems if they encounter problems. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft really doesn't want you to see video evidence of an encounter in a Florida massage parlor that led to him being charged with soliciting prostitution. His attorneys have filed a motion to block the public release of surveillance video and other evidence collected before his arrest. The state of Florida does not support with the request, according to the motion. Kraft, 77, also won't accept a plea deal in the case, a source said. Prosecutors have offered to drop misdemeanor charges against Kraft and 24 other men in exchange for fines, community service, and an admission they will be found guilty at trial. Less than a week after the Christchurch attacks, New Zealand is taking serious action on gun laws. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced today that all military-style semi-automatic weapons, assault rifles, and high-capacity magazines will be banned. The proposal goes to Parliament in the first week of April. Before that, New Zealand leaders may reclassify some semi-automatic weapons as military-style. Of course, this means a lot of New Zealand citizens will suddenly find themselves owning illegal firearms. The country's cabinet has been tasked with creating a buyback program, and there will be a period of gun amnesty during which citizens can drop off the newly banned firearms at police stations. One lobbying group acknowledged the changes may not sit well with some of its members, but said it backs tougher laws, adding, "We're trying to tread a responsible path." For the first time, the FDA has approved a drug specifically for the treatment of postpartum depression. The intravenous infusion has been shown in clinical trials to treat the symptoms of postpartum depression within hours. However, there are some major hurdles for women hoping for treatment. The drug is only administered as a 60-hour-long IV drip that must happen in a supervised hospital environment. It will also be astronomically expensive. The company that developed the drug said it will cost about $20,000 to $35,000 per treatment. Facebook is facing yet another privacy flap. The company announced it mishandled sensitive passwords for hundreds of millions of its users and stored them in plain text, meaning easily readable format in a database that could be accessed by employees. Most of the affected passwords belong to people using the platform's Facebook Lite version. A Facebook executive said the company usually masks people's passwords so no one working at Facebook can see them. Additionally, Facebook may soon face a massive FTC fine because of issues with its data privacy practices. A new study reveals death from the synthetic opioid fentanyl skyrocketed more than 1,000% from 2011 to 2016, with deaths practically doubling every year starting in 2014. The study also found that by 2016, men were more than 3 times more likely to die of fentanyl use than women. And while death rose in every age group, the largest increase in death rates was among younger people between ages 15 and 34. These staggering numbers are just another piece of the deadly puzzle of opioid abuse that lawmakers and medical professionals are scrambling to solve. The CDC confirmed last year that fentanyl is now the deadliest drug in America.